Finn. I should be like Finn. That's what French films are like. Uh, Decoding the last book of Revelation, it should say Finn, like shark fin. Anyway, I restarted. Hopefully, I'm getting some sound here. If anyone pops in, let me know. I think maybe I solved the problem. I had to restart. So sometimes they do that. My apologies. Um, Hopefully you're gonna find this. If you can hear me, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna wait till someone says, "Oh my, you could hear you this time." Okay, Frank and Gina. My bad. Man, they make this tough. Okay, okay. What? Great. All right. My apologies. Man, it's always the same thing, isn't it? Oh, okay. I guess I wasn't. My point wasn't getting across anyway, probably. So let me try again. Let me try again. I was saying I'm not going to get immediately now 21 through 22. Okay, Pamela, great to have you. Uh, first thing. Oh yeah, Poe family forever. The support is thank you. Um, George, thanks for supporting this work. Thanks for everyone. For supporting this work. I couldn't do this without your support, Jamie. All right. Uh, so thank you for that. And on that point in Acts 5, right? Hey, you're supposed to give everything to God. And, you know, did the apostles kill anyone? Nope. God does all the miracles and just deciding who gets what. Like the apostle, like me, I don't decide. I just was like, hey, I'm the accountant, right? Like, look at the debit and credit symbol over there. You better pay attention. It's very important. It's everywhere. So you need a good accountant in here. That's my sales pitch, right? uh, so I'm going to do a couple little things just to sort of get us into, hey, we're going to get back into like not just straight revelations like we've been doing. So a couple things coming up, and then I'm going to get right into Revelation. So just a few minutes. So first thing next time, there's this dude, right? Jesus of Nazareth. He does his thing. Boom, Jesus Christ, right? He does. Oh, he died, and now he's Jesus Christ, right? He went into samadhi, as he lived, and out he comes. He's Christ. Okay. Next time we're going to talk about something I haven't talked about. I don't think I brought this up before, so let's talk about the God Shadow. It was a character. His name is Lucifer. His name is Lucifer, right? And then, hey, I don't know if I can, you know, go along with everything here in the dome. Oh, you don't think so? Into the dome you go. And cast you in there, and there you'll know who's in charge. So Lucifer gets a title called Satan, right? Sat in uh, uh, Sanskrit, sorry, is knowledge, right? You go into the dome and you learn. You see, so the story about this thing, uh, it's everywhere. Okay, and everyone's engaged in it, including that character, God's Shadow, and who else could play God's Shadow? I'll be playing God's Shadow, right? Who was in India? Who played me in there? Uh, like my best friend and all the Baba lovers played the perfect master, laughed just like me, right? So funny. Uh, okay, so we'll talk about that next time. So it should be interesting topic. The okay. I was saying to thanks for the support, George and stuff, and I was going to say one point here. Who do you think Acts 5 of the Bible? Right? Did the apostles kill anybody? Nope. Nah. Jesus prayed to God. Hey, there's God. Who do I pray? I'm praying to God. Like, yeah, Jesus through Jesus Christ. So, but I mean, God back at all the characters. I mean, once you see that, you're like, okay, that's you're doing. Okay, you win by far. You're doing the whole game, everything. You know. So God makes the miracles happen, but we're the ones performing right on the God stage. And if you perform X, Y, Z, if you go A, B, up, down, left, right, code. That's what I'm doing. I was like, I'm playing Nintendo up in here, but with my body, right? Chicka chicka. Oh, there's a code. Look, I done it. That's it. You see, we're doing like a cheat code to not die. So anyway, uh, them apostles, they didn't kill, in Acts 5, they didn't kill the husband and wife. God did. So I'm just trying to make a point of that. Out there. I know things are hard. My God, it's ridiculous, isn't it? The cycles. But good thing, no lawsuit, and they wised up and apologized over there where we were living and got totally just our place destroyed, and now we're back in a place that got recreated from the last hurricane. So one hurricane destruction, almost full recreation into another hurricane destruction here. Uh, during reading Revelations, of course, and decoding it. So my cycle, as I say, kind of matches what's going on, and I have to live through destruction over and over, which is super relaxing when you have a wife. Let me tell you. And why would it be? It's a point is totally not not at all. So anyway, thanks for the support, everyone. Um, let's see. I brought up another topic too that we'll be talking about in the future. Uh, had this interaction with this Sayasi, as I, you know, use the Indian term. We don't have one in America, but the ash covered guys wandering the lands and searching for God. We got one down here, and talking with him, and I invited him down from siesta. He lives outside. And I'm like, come on down to the Comas is way better, man, and he loves it down here, and so I see him a lot now. Yeah, like I said to him last night, I was like, "Hey, man, have you ever?" Because he's starting to listen to what I'm saying and realize it's all true. He's like, he looks at me, he's like, they all know you. I was like, oh yeah, I know they all know me. He's like, no, 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 all of them know you, all of them. I was like, I know. They're like that. All of them know something because they're like a highway. He's like, yeah. Anyway, he's wised up out there, talking to the cops so many times, and he's never gonna have a roof over his head. It was he learned from being in the cage as a human. I had a other reaction, you know what I'm saying? Similar, but anyway, I told him last night, hey, you ever thought since they wipe our memory and put us in these character roles and stuff like that, we don't even know our name, dude. We don't know our name. He's like, that's why I call myself Gypsy, for exactly what you just said. How would I know my name? They he agrees with me. You see, so he's someone that showed up this very close to the end of the path, and he wants to swim out of the ocean and just die. I'm like, I understand, but you can't. So that's my role, right? Is to have these people come to me who get to the end of this and be like, "There's nothing in this world. Like, just let me out of here. You mean the body's the problem? Then let me just extinguish it. No problem." I'm like, nah. And he said, "Well, I can't. What's my purpose for being here?" I was like, "Your purpose is, you know, we have to like win, and they have to see it's possible, and they can't be killed, and we're fine." He's like, "We have to stay. You're staying for them. They got us to here, right? They served. I got us to this state. Isn't it worth the service to them to be here for them to motivate them to move up to do what you and I have done?" you know. Uh, that's why we're here for them. He's like, ah, I'm like, yeah, forgive them. And then you're working for them. It's like, I'm like, I know, but that's it. So anyway, since I recently he moved out of where I am and stuff, they don't put him in jail. It's like you say, you pray God in your head and stuff. And he said last time, he's like, they just leave me alone now. I was like, welcome to the beach. Anyway, so this technology is out there being done and so on. Let me read a piece about this. So we're going to get into Revelation. So I don't want to hold up too much, but because we got two long sections. But okay, I'm reading from Mir Baba in Life is Best. Mir Baba, a short, very short reading. The soul is like a parrot, and the body is like a cage. When the parrot is outside of the cage, it is free, but it does not fully appreciate what freedom is. Not having known confinement, it does not recognize being outside of the cage as, quote, freedom. When it goes through encagement, the agonizing bondage causes it to appreciate what freedom really is. Then, when the parrot is set free again, it truly enjoys its freedom. The same thing happens to the soul when, through the grace of the perfect master, it is freed from the limiting nightmare in which it believes itself to be nothing but its own encaging body. Okay. All right, now let's get into this revelation thing. Question. You like my questions? My questions are hard, aren't they? They're like yes, no, and you're like, oh, I gotta answer. Let's do that before the end. I'm just saying, come on, let's I'm supposed to move you forward. Just set that up. So how do I do that? You gotta come to a conclusion of one way or the other, based on reality and your experience and knowledge and all that. Okay. So here's a question for you. If I decode Revelations 21 and 22, yes? Wait, this says in the Bible, God shortened the days. Does that mean he shortened the 64 days? 64 years? Because that's known. They know, I know. God knows, 64. Just because the memory wipes don't know, that doesn't mean the other days ever existed. They didn't. So when it says God shortened the days, because they're only always ever 64 years and the actual days never change, never will change, never have changed, all that stuff. Does God shorten the days of the 64? You see what I'm saying? Do I add time if I decode this today? Question. Or do I accelerate it to a point where it speeds up? You see what I'm saying? And me turning the key in a lock, does that shorten the days? Do you see what I'm saying? The days are known. Just because you didn't know them and I didn't know them at one point, they all knew. That's the only thing they know. How could they know? They don't know anything else. There's nothing else to know. Except for the back script is like, oh yeah, in 1492, he said the ocean blue. What the, and he had to use the loo. What the, you know what I mean? Uh, so that's a question, right? Question, who wants to try that one on? Let's break it down real simple, okay? Are if is me decoding this seriously? Yes or it's a yes or no. If you decode this, say yes, you'll shorten it from 64 years to shorter, or no, it's gonna play out to 64, and everybody's got to be here, or maybe yes and no. Maybe that whole rapture thing is like maybe hit the bliss beforehand, you know, like I did. Anyone want to have a go at that one? Uh, and then we're straight into Revelations 21 and 22. We'll get to that. All right. No, no, what? A simple one. A simple question. No, it's still 64 you live, but I think it speeds up. Three kind of doesn't make it. Okay. That's fantastic. Everybody's totally, weighing the information and, you know, based on your own individual interactions with God, you're like, oh, here's this information in the script. And everyone in here is like has some interaction with God. So they're like, oh, I recognize it's truth. And so now it's like, oh, Okay, this probably means which speeds up and accelerates your desire to connect with God and know the ending. Yes, tell me. Yeah. Uh, Jamie. Okay, Jamie. Let's start. Okay, Jamie, turn the key. I bet the whole farm. On what though? What are you betting on? That's what I'm asking. Uh Alan is still 64, but I think it speeds up when three-quarters of the population don't make it. Yeah, no, yeah, you're like, Bear Papa's never wrong. I'm like, yeah, don't bet against Bear Papa. No, that's, you're like, yeah, totally, totally. And so, that's calling the information of experience and so on. I mean, how long do you think these actors can play on the stage is looking kind of goofy up there now, isn't it? Like, we're obviously the last act and the actors are tired. It's like they're not they're not doing so good. Uh, so they you can obviously feel Al is a musician, so I'm the same way. Like you hear tension, you know what I'm saying, in the music of the sea that you could hear is like, oh, you kind of and I've decoded. Okay, here's let's go through the lyrics. This song. Let's go through the sheet music. Here's where it ends, and here's some blanks. So if you know the song and who's singing it, hey, the choir's not going to change. Then you can start to see the rest of the music filled in to the song. So that's you know that's a tempo driven answer there. I think that's a good one. A lot of fun. All right. Trap pairs can't tell if time goes fast. Oh, you can't unless you meet with God or God's shadow. You realize time is what? That's so man, right? You need somebody to open that door for him, right? That's what the Bear Bible was reading was about. Okay, Jamie, I don't know at all about the time thing. I just know I so badly want the truth. Hey, that's what brings you to God. And that's ultimately the driving force. Yes, agree. A lot of fun. Let's. Is that you, Jay? I think it's. I forget. Time and the perception of time is a miracle. Like 100%. Okay, great. I want to get that wheel spinning. Let's get into the last two books of Revelations. Here we go. Okay. Like I've been doing in the other ones, I'm gonna read. We're gonna do 21, 22. I'm gonna read the last part of 20, just as a segue, and we'll get into it. Okay. So here's where we ended last. I'm gonna reread that, and then we're gonna go to 21. Okay. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Hey, you get to play the game again. It didn't work out for you. You didn't win. Slip. You know, this is a description of the world being recreated right there. I mean, just the way God said, well, now wage up and you go over there. And it's like, I mean, only God would say something so unfathomable in such a short way. And then those that were not found in the book of life, it's like, okay, so that was that. I mean, yes, love God, but if you don't have a level of, every emotion, fear, I so told Gypsy last night, hey, I was like, you got to give God everything. I know you're sleeping out here in the rain and the thunder and the lightning and stuff, and there's sometimes when you're not saying "fuck you, God," and God's raining down on you, and God wants every emotion. It doesn't want you to hold back, and if you don't do that, you're not getting out of here because then you think something is you're to blame for something, and you're not. God is. And so you realize God has everything and everything in your life and everything. What? What's going to happen to you? Hey, you're going to stay. So no. Okay, George. Okay, George. Hey, thanks for the support, George. Uh, seriously, Yeah, you're right about that, George. You've been right about a lot lately, George. Much smart people in here coming around to things. Okay, here we go to 21. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna stay with it. God knows, so we're just gonna go through it. Okay, we're gonna make it today. And next chapter 21, 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. There was no more sea. Zoop. Oh, bubble formed in the sea. There was no more sea. Like there's air in that area. Swoop, earth formed. Zoop. There was ocean and then bubble. And all of creation inside of it. I mean, what a description. Yes, I do have, I mean, right? Uh, so here's the thing that I don't think anyone has brought up before, though, which I'm going to decode this, okay? Isn't that, didn't we just see a description of, now this is a liquid becoming solid, is casting, yes? And so when that would happen, right? Uh, when oh hey, let's turn this steel liquid, it's in a bar shape, a glob shape. Let's turn it super hot, and we'll use these machines and tools, and we'll flatten it out into sheets. Okay, and so or let's use the actual casting. I'm sorry. But we have a glob of metal. Let's make it liquid, and we'll pour it into a form, form, right? And it's cast. Poop. Take all the shape. There it is. Yes, that's a casting process. Yes. What's involved in that? What is the we- if it's if you were only doing a small amount of metal? Yes, you might call it a puddle of fire. But if you're doing all of Earth and recasting it and turning it liquid from heat, you might call it a lake of fire. Yes, if you're recasting. So that's the lake of fire. Get back in there, everybody. you know, you can't talk about recasting and all the actual reality if we're on a ball. If you're on that team, we're on a ball. You're not, you're hiding the fact that you're under the dome, and you know why, and everything, and your ego's still running things. Not good. You're like, I'm a very important character. It's like, wait, you're a very important what? uh okay. So anyway, no more sea a bubble. All right. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. New game, right? A new reset. Well, that's how we're describing it. A reset to factory standards. And John sees the future of that. He sees it. That's what it is. Brides, no, say with me again. Ain't nobody decode the stuff the way I do. Isn't this crazy? What I put out here? God tells me. Anyway, but what? Now listen. What do brides adorn themselves with? Cha-ching. Yep. They when a bride adorns herself, they adorn themselves, right, with crystal, diamond, right? It's adorned. Adorned is something, a word that means surrounded in beauty. Adorned, right? Surrounded in beauty. So surrounded in crystal as a bride adorns himself. Yes, come on. 3. And I heard a great voice out of the heavens saying, "Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God." This is a part I really want people to understand. Heaven, Heaven, and Heart is the same thing to God. In other words, heaven is where God dwells. Hey, me up in heaven, right? But heaven dwells here in our heart. Heaven, That's the dwelling place. When a drop instead of the ocean is called heart. Uh, the ocean is called heaven. You see what I'm saying? Of bliss of God. So that's the place it is. It comes through the mind. You eventually gain the knowledge, and you allow access. God is, and you finally, hey, you learn something, and then ultimately becomes your new reality. It seeps into your heart, and that's the only way you're going to handle anything based on what's in your heart, not what's in your head. You're like, oh well, this is a tough situation. I'm going to have to call on God. Jesus Christ, yeah, need ya, right? Okay, so and that's our connection. It's like, oh, plug in, plug in Jesus Christ. Hey, come on, need ya. Okay, all right. That's what that is saying right there. That's the way I say it, and I try and break it down through its basic principles. But that's the way it's written in here. The tabernacle, the place where God is living inside of each of us, is surrounded in a veil that has to be removed. So, and that's what we're working on. All right. 4, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more panic, for the former things are passed away. That's right. What is that? Hey, Men in Black. Hey, look at it. Look into this thing. Memory wipe. That's describing a memory wipe. Yes, memory wipe. Tweak. That's what that is. That's an exact description of it. Come on. That's an emotional description. The passage just before was talking about the heart. And the passage after it is talking about all the wiping on the tears, what? From your brain and your heart. Okay. 5. And he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new. And he that sat, I'm sorry, and he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. Hey, John, write a book, because what I'm telling you is true. It don't matter what other people say. You write a book. Oh, I heard this. Orders. It's like, yeah, I got them orders. I know them orders. 6. And he said unto me, right? The angel says to John, hey, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. Hey, you want to live? Man, we got a whole ocean down there, lake of fire that turns into lake of life. You want some? uh, and so 7 here, 7, right? Oh, sorry, 6. We're doing 6. My bad. The looper says you want another life, right? So, okay, 7. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he will be my son. Your family is fake. In other words, for me, because I played from the beginning of the loop, yes, I was placed in a family, right? But did I come out of a woman? No, like this is, you know, a lot of information, this little thing. But 7 is really saying in short form, number 7 here is a description of common law or dharma. That's all. That's really what that passage is, right? This is the rule of the game. The underlying rule of the game is number 7 here. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. And there ain't no more game for you. There ain't more fake families. There ain't more. No, you don't hear your name or nothing. You don't go back into the lake of fire and get recast in the earth. You don't do that. You're my son. You come home. You're my son. We'll have the big party. That's the deal. Uh, I watched this channel about electric cars, just total shill channel. But anyway, of course I watch the shills. But electrified Katie. He's like, we're headed towards the singularity. He doesn't say climate change. He said, I believe we're headed towards the singularity. It's like, but that's just a word that describes God. God has there's no duality in God, so God is singularity. You see, we're headed towards singularity, or not. You're one with the devil. You see what I'm saying? Uh, we are headed to that event, and that's true. That's a description of the law all the way. Okay, number 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Yeah, you guys can that don't know no different until we actually need you on the stage. Your 1,000 years is, and then after you do this whole bunch of time, yeah, this place gets you after a while. You want to leave the dome, but you can't. That's talking about the madness there for them. That is unfathomable, really, but it makes them follow orders, even without a heart, right? They're like animals, so they need strict rules to govern them and keep them playing their parts, or else they'll never earn their heart like in the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, they won't. Okay, 9. Let me make sure I didn't skip nothing there. Oh, yeah, so that was also 8. So that passage was A infinity, the symbol infinity. Yes, so that's a description of the infinite loop right there. Yes, okay. 9. And there came unto me one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. This is a description of after you reach the 7th plane and be with God, you uh play the guys, what's the word? Uh, cob, cob, uh, it's not coming to me. The I should look it up. Uh, composite plates, right? Oh, hey, uh, third journey, third journey. So, okay, so you made it, right, to God, the infinite, 7, 8, 9, but now you gotta play. Okay. So there's that element in here too. Yes, okay. 9, yeah. Yeah. And at the end, yes, one of the angels, the one angel, Gabriel, that's who you meet with. That's who I met with. So, oh, all right, Dario. God, you made it. We're Revelations 21:10. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God. Yeah, Gabriel takes you to heaven, and then also recounts of the angels do that. Yes, but once you're outside, you leave the body, right, and you get some play. You're out there with God for the timeless event, but then you're thrown back into time. Uh, you This is hard to describe, but it's as if you're outside of here, so you're like looking on down on it like it's a tiny little marble or something, uh, and realize it all happened because you're now outside of time. You're like, oh, you know the outcome. You're like, man, they all went, they all that all happens. Yeah, God's like, yeah, but if you're in there, because you see movement in there, from out, the marble's not still, but from God's standpoint, because your consciousness reunites with God. Yes. So you're in a singularity, you're in a singular form of consciousness, even though you're watching the movement of what is happening and what's just described. You realize this already happened to God. The outcomes already know, and so everything's good. From the standpoint of God, from the singular, from singularity consciousness. That's what we're talking about. Okay. All right. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Oh yeah, you be with God in heaven. That's it. That's it. That's it. You have that singular value. You be with God. 11. Having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even a jasper stone, clear as crystal. Right, you go above the crystal dome, you see a clear stone. What God's a make this whole thing what it is a crystal place as well. And God is basically light. And but not only God is everything, but you know, it's sort of like every color is white, and so God is everything. So God is white light. God is everything. You see, like the way colors are, you know, uh, like color separates and it's all the colors, but before that, it's white. So God is everything. God is white light. You see, in your experience of experiencing God. 12. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written there on which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Okay, 12, 12, right? 1 plus 2 is 3. We're describing the 33. And we're describing the week, you know, and we're describing the game plague, as it looks up from God. It's like, thinking uh, like that feng shui symbol with the eight-sided piece. You know what I'm saying? 8 times 8. The has the I Ching, you know, symbols on it like that. It's like looking down at the game. The Buddhist, uh, the way the Tibetan Buddhists make on the sand paintings, and they're foreshadowed, and the gates. They're making this. The Borg, where the Borg go in between. That's this here. They're describing it. You see, hexagram. No. This was four. You see what I'm saying? Four, four, four. And it's also describing what? A clock. This is describing our place. It's describing the dome. It's describing time. It's describing all of it. That is systematic, running like a Swiss watch, whatever, like a banker's watch, like that. 12 signs of astrology is just about time. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. 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 Thank you. 13 on the east, three gates, and on the north, three gates, on the south, three gates, and on the west, three gates. Okay, again, here we go, right? Clock, compass, right? Has directions. All of them are elements of what's being described here. The game. Where we play the game? Here. 14, and the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb, right? The beehive. Uh, sorry, sorry, sorry. If you look up the word apostle in a dictionary, it's someone on a mission. That's what is describing apostle. So, you know, your mission as a soldier of God is known to those that work the gate. You can't get out. Sorry, there's no getting out unless God says you're out, and that's it. That's what that's saying. You know, that's it. They're gates, and you got they let you out or they don't. 15. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city and the gates thereof and a wall thereof. Uh-huh. See who measures. You follow me? Like, oh, we're being judged out here and measured and watched, like in the book of Enoch and the Watchers. You see, that's a description of who's doing the angels. They're watching us in every form. Of course, they shapeshift. What are you talking about? Just staring at you. What? Just I'm like, people have asked, like that guy Gypsy asked, well, what do you eat? I was like, well, I don't need fallen angels anymore that stare at me and stuff like, just because I know what they are, so that doesn't appetize me anymore. I was like, I know that health wise or what, he's living off the land and eating fish. I'm like, hey, you're fine, dude. Like, eat anything God gives you, you're fine. But you asked me, so I'm telling you. And he's, it creates health problems for me. I was like, yeah, me too. But to eat bread and stuff. I was like, but it creates karmic issues for me to not do that. So, you know, uh, we had to talk about that last night. Okay. Uh, 16. And the city lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs, and the length and the breadth and the length of it are equal. So honestly, are we in a dome? I mean, seriously, you know what I'm saying? I mean, everything's a miracle at the edge. We could be in a movie studio. Who knows? And is this describing, the Borg? You know what I mean? And their area that they're in under the, you know, the who are in here. So some things aren't to be known 100%, but you can see this is a description of the place we're playing it. Yes, yes. 18. And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, and into a clear glass. So, at the same time, earth's being built, heavens being built, hell's being built, all this is like, pew, right? Everything just start. So, here's this is, they just tell John, and John's trying to describe it as like, so, and it's happening. It's like you can't even describe what. So this is God playing all the roles in this Revelation character cast and a description of what God does. Amazing. Uh, and plus, we're talking about four squares, you know what I mean? Four square with four times four times four. We're also talking about time, 64 years. These numbers add up to time. See a cube, right? You unroll a cube, yes, and it turns into a cross. You see, if you unroll a cube, it has two sides, one at the top and two down below. Oh, it's a cross. Yeah, that's a cube. As this is a cube, so the cross is a description of that time that he would say, yeah, time, yeah, time. Okay. Uh, the foundation of the 19 and the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third I don't know this word. How that's weird, is it? Chalcedony. Uh, the fourth an emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chris chrysolite, and the eighth beryl, the ninth a topaz, the tenth chrysoprastes, the 11th adjacent, the 12th and amethyst. This is another way to describe the movement through Mama says seven plays, yes, but this is a way to describe consciousness evolving. You know what I'm saying? Hey, here are the different stops on the spiritual path. Different, you know, when your mind crystallizes, yes. Oh, everything's crystal clear to you. You see about certain things, but it isn't crystal clear till it's clear, like the Ed one, like clear. You see, so you go through all these seeing things through rose-colored glasses on the plane you're on, the spiritual place you're on, yes. But yeah, see, even the time thing, yes. It's like, look, 64, 33. Uh, but that's the way you see things, through where you are. And only if someone is ahead can, hey, guess what? Over here it's clear and it looks like this. You see what I'm saying? You can't see it any other way than the way you can see it where you are. They can only have a sort of a vision when somebody else sees it for you through clear glasses. You see? That's the description of it. Didi, Chalcedony is beautiful blue. Okay, can be green. Yeah, lovely. Uh, yeah, thanks for filling me in. Yeah, you're like the crystal expert, which just makes sense. Uh, Alan says, heaven is in the heart. Yes, being built in the heart. Where would hell be? In the mind? That's, oh my God, that's so good, right? Because that is where all the problems are. That's, oh, I never looked at it backwards like that. But that would be the shadow, right? That would be the shadowlands where you leave, right? The mind. Uh, but, uh, I mean, that's an interesting way to think about that. It really is. In yes, in that limited, because it's really about those two places, isn't it? Uh, heaven, hell, and earth. And so this is the body, earth. This is the dirt. And we got heaven and hell playing in there. So yeah, the mind is where the devil gets you through the mind. But uh yeah, I like that, but Mir Baba, how Mir Baba's a head and heart together, yes. So it's an evening of that. You see the saying? You're like, oh, y'all are forgiven this stuff. That's like the mind, and you're like, that whole mind stuff was all mind games, the whole thing. Yeah. And so you leave that hell of nothing ever making any sense ever behind. That actually, I love that. I love that. It's nice one, Alan. This one out of the park. I love it. I love it. I love it. J Baba. Sweet. Okay. Didi. I sell as go. Nice. Jamie, that is interesting. Two trees in the garden, life and knowledge. Yeah. Sat. Knowledge, the tree of knowledge. Uh, your Baba says to annihilate the mind. Yes. Dude. Love it. So succinct. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hey, somebody else moved the goalpost. Hey, don't come to my house tonight. Go to Alice place. Go to Alice place. Oh my goodness. Hell is under the gross or the gross. Yeah, but how do they get to us in the mind? Yeah, a bunch of stuff that makes no sense in the end. And once they lose that, you go straight to God, boop, to the heart. No, so true. Thank you, Alan, Mr. Soothsayer. 21. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls, and every several gate was one pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, as it as if it were transparent glass. So if we're describing the seasons, the turning in your spiritual loop here, right? In your timed game, it's saying if you can get the pearl of knowledge, yes, on each plane as you go. You see them say you got to get that pearl, and then you can move forward. Yes, okay, that's what it's saying. There's a pearl of knowledge to get, and it's a timed game. So get the pearl by your actions. Okay. So tree of life, David. So tree of life, uh, and heart, and tree of knowledge of good and evil. The forbidden one is mine. Well, and what's the thought that's forbidden? It's one thought, actually. That what? You know better than God. It's one thought that's forbidden. It's only one thought. It's not all thought. It's thinking you know more than God. I mean, what are you? Is someone created you? You don't know more than you're created. What? Like, hey, dumbbell. You know what I mean? But our memory's wiped, and everyone around us is saying, uh, everything just happened. Big bang, blah, blah, blah. Monkeys. We were a monkey like 15 minutes ago, dude, and now we're human. It's like, we're lied to about everything. But when you look at you like, why are you ever, are you, because you have to come to the conclusion, everyone is just so stupid to think this is true. You're so stupid. Even as a child, it's like, you're so dumb. Like, you're so pathetically stupid, and you're adults. That's why you think you're so stupid. You don't know anything. You can't back up anything. You know nothing. And then later, it's like, oh, okay, it was a script of lies for a purpose. Okay, that actually makes sense because I just thought you were as dumb as insects. But no, you're not. Oh, okay, okay, that's not what I was expecting. But now, okay, good, good. You see? Uh, so the angel falls. I had to explain this to Gypsy lesson. This really is true. When you're in God's presence, which I have now a memory of doing, yes, it was a wipe from me because I did it during this life and it, come back into this body. So in God's presence, God emanates a singular feeling you have on your end. You don't have, there's no duality. Duality is gone. Bliss, knowledge, you know everything. You're one with God. The happiness, there's no struggle. There's no, that's gone. You see what I'm saying? And God knows everything and got you back to God. And now you know that, hey, this was played by God the Unlimited with unlimited resources for your unlimited benefit. You're like, unlimited thank you. You know what I mean? Like infinity thank you, Scott. Uh, but in the meantime, it don't feel like that, you know. And in the meantime, when you're God is testing you, I emanate. You're an angel now. I emanate this feeling. You automatically do what I say. But now I'll put a veil in between me and you and that feeling, and now we'll test you. And it's like memory wipe. What? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, go play the game. Let's see who you really are. And when you really come out of it, you're like, oh, what's inside of me is what's inside of me. I will do as if God was standing next to me. I'll still do that. Watch, play the game. And when you become that, finally, I was like, oh, winner, winner. And we wiped out, the pluses and minuses by remaining a while to forgive the other ones and for them to say, oh, we did good. You know what I mean? Walk the back and forth on that. We've been out of here for a while. At least you can do is walk across the stage a couple times with your, graduation hat on and stuff for a few years until the last day. You don't get to die. You graduated. Get up there. And that's your service to them, to me. That's why I had to explain to Gypsy, like, hey, no, don't do that. Don't kill yourself. You're demon. What? You already done that. Look at you got 1 million tattoos on your body. You already did that. Don't do that. Don't do that again. Don't no. Uh, good question, Jamie. My favorite movie is Idiocracy, right? Uh, Al's like, I told him watch it 500 million bajillion times. I've seen scenes from it at this point, and I do love what I've seen so far. Al's like, man, you're late. No, but no, that's you see, that's what the realization is. And so, okay, you fell. Man, God, you can't give me that order to go kill that child. You're an angel. You're like, you do as God says. Because God is watching over everyone. So eventually, the will of the game, you got to go through so many births and deaths and all this crap. And angels have to do it or in their place to get in here eventually with a game. This is describing that whole thing in his passage. Where was I? Freaking. I hope it was on 22. And I saw no temple therein, for the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it. That's just what Alan just said. You wipe out the temple, and it's just the heart. Boop. 23. And his city, right, had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine in it, for the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. So, two things this is describing. Yes, as I say, the sun ain't full of light. God's in there and gives off light. That's it. And same happens to you. When God comes into you, you give off light and they know it. They're like, okay, uh, don't be anywhere. Okay, yeah. Can I help you, sir? Okay, I'll help you. Goodbye. Now you're nice. Ha ha. Good. That's when God's in your temple. They start to treat you a little better up here. Not always, but eventually. I'm like the guy that handles the bullies. Oh my God, it's ridiculous, the stuff I have to do. Okay, 24. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and humor into it. So in heaven, you got to hang out with the ones that followed orders and did what God said down on the earth to be evil and stuff to propel us forward. Do you want to hang out with them anymore? I know I don't. Never, ever. And I would do anything not to have to. So that's what I'm saying. In the end, you win the game not by going to heaven or hell, but it's a singularity by reuniting only with God. And you join up with God, and that's it. Uh, Jay, yeah, don't kill yourself. No, yeah, exactly. We already made that mistake. Everyone's made that mistake. We just don't do it again. It's in us. It's like something tells us, nah, I've done that too many times. uh, Yeah, you don't like him, Dee Dee. So yeah, but you do like God, so that's where we go. That's it. Jack, who is the friend you were talking about? Just no, it's just a guy that lives on the beach. Is a Sayasi, like he's a seeker. Calls himself Gypsy anyway. So and with reason, and I like his reason. We have the same knowledge level on that, which tells me he's far along. 25. Uh, And the gates of it shall not be shut all day, for there shall be no night there. Right? It's a singular. There's no duality with God. There's no duality. That's here. And it's fake. There's only God. Only God is real. That's what you learn. A bubble in the ocean is part of the ocean, and it's tiny. Like it's barely so little compared to God. Yeah, and they shall bring the glory and honor of nations into it, right? Uh, but what we're talking about the ocean and a bubble forming, and all of time gets in there, and then okay, characters to your mark, I just the show must go on. 27, and there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. Right. So you don't make it to the end of the game. This is a script. Hey, here's how you win the game. It's like, well, that's kind of obscure. What? Well, we're at 21, so we're getting near the end. And so hey, you almost won. We're almost you won. Yeah, right. So that's what it's describing. The whole Jay, the YS Singer Ho sang a song called Tiny Bubbles. Yeah, no, right? No, from is exactly but to God, I'm having a little indigestion. If you read if you see like God speaks, it's like God beyond God. It's like God just has some indigestion, digested some of this. literally, and it's like passing a little gas into the dome. You know, that's where it starts. A little indigestion up here. Okay, we started as a tiny bubble like that from God. It's like that's not funny, God. God's like a little bit. It's like uh, okay, a little bit. 22 and a big finale. Hey, here we go. Okay, pull this up so I don't lose my place. And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceedeth out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. God is the ocean. Above us is pure, perfectly pure. Nothing, not a speck of just perfectly. Yeah, you rejoin with the ocean of God. That's when you win. Two, in the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, there was the tree of life, which have I'm sorry, which which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month, and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. To everything turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn. Right? We heard about this back in the Psalms. This stuff's happening. Right? Everything is healed. It starts to do all the. It's like bubble cities, trees and fruits, and beautiful. You're watching it. This is a description of time starting again. Three, and there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. Yes, heaven started. Remember, as Bear Baba said, like Earth turns into the moon, and you know if that's true, then there's only three places here. So that means the sun turns into Earth. So we're describing that, right? Or the sun is this molten liquid place, and it becomes the new Earth, and then there's a new heaven, and then that's what we're describing here, and all the things like. And God's over here, like, giant God compared to these tiny bubbles is like, oh, look at that. you know, look, there's fruits and stuff in there. You know, Alan, I realized the other day the phrase God damn it is like a prayer asking God to damn it, the devil, which I think is why the churches don't want that being said. Oh, that's so funny. It's already damn, man. You don't gotta say it all. Enough with saying that. And it must be like this saying in heaven. You know what I mean? Not go. You don't say good morning like that. You're like, God damn it. Yeah, you're like, yes. God damn it. Oh, it's so true. God damn it. Yes. And now I'm here. Sweet. So good. So true. Yes. Made it out of the dome. uh, Bear Mama's story. Mondelez said that on stage at an event, Bear Mama just laughed. I mean, oh, yes, that was the beginning of the East-West meeting, and and it was actually the first thing said. It was the first thing said. And Mayor Bubba laughed his head off. It was the first thing said. It was this really super magnanimous, very tall, and kind of like, solid Indian dude for India, right? Size and everything. Gets on stage and he's going to introduce Mayor Bubba and stuff. And the first thing he says is, "God damn it, that's so true." It is like, you know, saying where you say, "God damn it, that's so, dude, you're on the right, you, you're here from the right place." I love it. So true. Oh man, I miss our breakfast and dinners and stuff. Hanging in India, this is so good. You got somebody much more charismatic to hang out with now, and even way more charismatic coming. Good for you. No, dude, that is, you're on it today, Al. You're on another plane, man. Oh, Frank, my dog's name is, goddamn it. It's not funny. Oh, phew. Get a sense of humor when you get there, right? Oh my god, that's so good. Are we on three? There shall be no more curse, but the throne of God. Oh, four. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be on their foreheads. Those are the things. This is how you win a game. Is when you win the game, you see God. That's what I said. You see God when you win the game. You see the you don't see you see God the Father on the fourth play, and the seventh play, you see, hey, I met with, guess who I met with? I had to listen to, or whatever, right? The face of God, not the formless God, but, hey, I met with Jesus. I met with Mayor Baba. I met with, that, met with the face of God. That's what this is saying right here. In the seventh plane journey, and you're at the end. There's the face of God, right? Hey, hi. So you're super real. Oh, that's, yeah, I've been going there for a while. That's it. And so elsewhere in the book, right, there's like, hey, we gotta, seal on the foreheads before we, who's who, what's what. Don't throw the wrong ones in the, don't throw the ones back in the dome that don't go back in the dome. Let the angels seal them first. Yes, that's we I was in here earlier. So this is saying how that happens, right? The seal happens when, the moment you meet with God. That's when the seal happens. Oh, I met with God face to face, sealed. Whoop. God's real. It doesn't matter if someone else says God's not real. It's like, oh, you haven't met with God. That's the only thing that's real is you haven't met with God yet. And I have. Oh, okay. Well, you will one day. And it doesn't matter. You say God's not real. That's not. I met with him. So yes. Thanks for that laugh, Frank. Okay. And there shall be no light there, and they need no candle, neither light of the sun, for the Lord God giveth them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. No one's going to turn you from God. Once you meet with God, face to face, period. No one. It's not possible. God's real, and everything leading up to that moment, everything from that point back, what's real, what wasn't. Most everything wasn't. Okay. 6, and he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true, and the Lord God of the holy prophets sent his angel to shew unto his servants the things which must shortly be done. I sending Gabriel to let one of you know. It's like, could you tell anyone more charismatic than John McCaig, please? That would be useful. Could you tell this super pretty 18-year-old girl who's like has 12 billion uh, followers on Instagram? Y- No? Okay. Because that wouldn't be one who would have won the game. Okay, yeah, okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book. This is the book, the only book, and guess what? It's never changing, and there's 64-year time loop, and that's it. If you say there's not, guess what? Well, I asked the question in the class, who says there's 64-year time, who says they're not? Right here. Which one do you say? Okay. So that determines, that's what it would determine. Oh, you think it's not real? Okay, well, go live again. 8, and I, John, saw these things and heard them. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down and worship before the feet of the angel which showed me these things. This is a theme that keeps coming up in this book, right? Don't bow to the angels. They're here to serve us on our path to get to God. I'm a servant too. The servant is saying, you're a servant. You and I are both servants. You serve God, I serve God. You just relearned it from all your trials and tribulations. I serve. Here it is in 22, right? In number 8, the last thing, right? Infinite thing at the end is, if you don't see, right, then you're going to redo it. I'm a servant, your servant, and I was you. You're the angels. You're going to be me. Just look them in the eye and look. Dario, verse 4, forehead meaning in your mind, yes, and it should be annihilated, yes. The face of God is the same as your face, my face is so. No, no, there God backs the actual characters of God. Jesus Christ, Krishna, and so on. And God made one number one, right? It made all knees bow, all tongue confess Jesus Christ. It made it. I've tested it, I've proven it, and blah. So, but God backs every character that God created, that is God realized. Muhammad and uh, Krishna and Ram and Zarathustra, and you know, all the script characters of the God realized God portrays, and you know, that's God the Father is the creator of this situation, is doing that. And again, you have to ask, this is confusing until you ask why, right? You answer the question of why, and here we are in a loop right here. And why did this happen? We're 22 in, and you have to know, Dario, at the end from chapter 1, I explained it, right? Why is this happening? So let's bring it up again now. Why is this game happening? Right? Isn't that an important overarching, right, influence, as far as the only influence that matters? And why is this happening? Because God is this unlimited ocean and formless, created this form to know self. And if God is everything, he had to create the nothing, which we're in doing the nothing. We're the parrot in the cage, right? And that's why. So God knows self. That's why. And so God is backing those characters, but like Gypsy was saying, that Gypsy don't know his real name, and neither do I. How would I know my real name? I know my real character name and what I do, but is there a name? I don't know. I'm given this name as a character, but when you go to God, you realize, oh, I was always just, my soul was never has left you, and it was a veil. That's what you are. But you're only that when you are that, and you're experiencing that, and you're not that as far as the game is concerned until you are that. Until your actions portray it and your knowledge both. It's a gift, it's grace that you unlock by your actions, right? Karma is your actions against the law of Dharma, against common law. Yes? And so here's evolution through the forms, angel, fallen angel, and all the forms, right? All the angels, and then human, play the game to bring back the knowledge to God of what God is by knowing what God isn't. Oh, now, right? Parrot flies free in the jungle, doesn't understand freedom, put it in a cage. This is prison. Oh, okay. Open up the gate much later, understands freedom. That's what we're doing. That's why the game is being played. God is playing it. Okay. You have to have that understanding until you can really properly answer that question. Okay, but we're good, Dario. All right. 9. Then saith he unto me, See thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant and thy brethren, like the brethren, the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship God. That's all I say. If you don't you wouldn't you be in your right mind to like fear something that can recreate the whole game and this planet instantly in a second? You're like, that would be healthy. Like, okay, maybe a hurricane, maybe a tornado is not going to hit you, but if you're watching it right over there, you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna move over here. A healthy fear. Uh, yeah, no problem. Good question, Dario. Thank you for that. All right. So don't worship the angels. Oh no no no. 10. And he saith unto me, Seal not the sayings of the prophecy of the book, for the time is at hand. Hey, John, do not know and sit on the sidelines. I let you in the game because you got to tell them. That's a tough one there, but I already know that. So, but you should know it. Go seal the book, crack it open, and tell them. I'm telling them. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. Be who you are. God is watching. I'm not the one, right? I'm God's accountant. I don't mete out the justice, or I don't. If I this place would be so different if I did. Think about it. I don't do that. I'm just like, oh, I found an accounting error. They're supposed to, we're slaves. It's like, oh, yeah, that's not cool. And so on. Yes. So I say switch from the other team, and they don't. Okay. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me. You go with him. Okay. To give every man according as his work shall be. Your actions. Okay. Right. That creates your karma. That's 13. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. There's never anything but what I'm telling you is going to happen. There's never been anything else, never going to be anything else. Otherwise, you have no understanding of God to say that this isn't a timely view. You say the game is constantly changing, and that's absolutely outside fairness. And God would never do anything unfair, period. Only way this horrible, evil cage situation is fair if it's done equally to everyone. That's the only way, equally by God's standards, not mine, not yours. God has an accounting system. You see to say, I'm the accountant. I can just tell you here are the rules. And they're basic, but God determines and weighs them, not me. Alpha and Omega, time loop. Boop. Blessed are they that do his commandments, and they have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates of the city. Okay, hey, you the Disney characters, back you come. And those that won the game, yeah, sure, you're gonna go through heaven to be with God and be like, hey, see ya. 15. For without our dogs, DOG, right, the opposite of God, DOG, not God, are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. The the goal is to get access. Oh, that's Merlin. Hi, Merlin. Uh, sorry. So the goal is to get to God, and uh, here's the thing: the fallen angels, they can't see God; they're not allowed to, and that ultimately builds up the desire to see God. And so the winners of the game see God, literally see the face of God while they're in a body, and then after they're with God, and they see God. And the other ones, they don't get to. Because the only thing we're doing is being in God's presence. Only God is real, and that's a win in the game. That's it. You're just with God. I, Jesus, have set my mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and offspring of David and the bright and morning star. Uh, God plays the devil and Jesus both. I play this is my game up here. Don't say it's not. Right? I start it, I end it. When the game is gone and there's nothing and there's just darkness and a dark sea, I'll be there. I'll be the light that shines at the beginning of the game. Blink. I'm the end. I'm the beginning. I am. He becomes everything, and you get absorbed into God. And that's exactly what you want to have happen with the game. Because it never was not that way. It was just a veil of feeling that you were in a cage, but you never were. You're just a bubble in the ocean. 17. And the Spirit and the bride say, Come, and let him that heareth say, Come, and let him that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. So this is you know yeah, I mean, God is taking this form of water. So you know it's just it's hard to describe uh what everything that's described is like from an ocean's standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like you begin to see that in all the explanations that we have here, like this one. Sorry, I'm looking up my notes on this one too. Uh, so your bride, whatever, is okay if you've taken, you know, you followed all the rules and stuff, but you didn't win the game. You got to go back in and bride it into your body. Shoop, your spirit goes in the body. Whoop. That's what we're describing right here. Yeah. You still got some thirst for something like the thirst trap, you know? Like I saw this thing on Facebook, TikTok, blah, YouTube. Who knows? I don't know. I guess I'm only at YouTube. So YouTube. And it was like they had like six people put down their foes, and everyone would go like this to the last thing to the next thing that they see, right? And the first time you hit a thirst trap, right? Pretty girl, pretty dude, right? You're out. You pull your phone up, and it's in your history. Like you have control of it, you don't. It comes along, yes. So if you thirst for that, the thirst trap, such a good name. Uh, right? You lose. Such a short encapsulation of the whole game we're going through. It is a thirst trap. Do you understand? Okay. God makes you thirsty for God, not this. If you want life, you'll have it. Who wants life? That's the sentence you don't want from the judge. You get life. Are you with me? Okay. 18, for I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of the book, if any man shall add to these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. Don't don't edit. They got to figure this out. The game never changes. The script never changes. This book never changes. Nothing ever changes. It's not. Man can't add days to a time loop. It's a joke. It's a joke what he just said there. Hey, don't add to the trouble. Add to them. I'm just trying to take away from what are you talking about? My desire is not to add to time to life. Imprisonment. What? There's worse than life imprisonment. It's infinite lifetimes imprisonment. That's worse. Okay, 19. And if any man shall take away from the words of this book of this prophecy, God will take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book. If I take away anything from this, right? If I understand taking away, what was your takeaway from the film, sir? What was your takeaway from the book? What was your takeaway from that, huh? What was your takeaway? In other words, in a short encapsulation, could you tell me what you think about the book? If you have a takeaway from it, if you know what this book means, a takeaway, right? Uh, you go to God. You won. You win. 20. He which testifieth these things saith, surely I come quickly. Amen. If anybody, hey, if John says this, the amen no is coming soon. If John says it, right? John's going to say it. Even so, come, Lord Jesus. Yeah. And the point being, what I say lately is, they don't look worried, right? The ones that actually know around me here in what they call the Shire. Welcome to the Shire. What? This is where the hobbits live. And the hobbits are what? The most dangerous of all characters who can end the time loop. Yes? They're the ones that throw the ring into the lake of fire, recast everything. Yes? The Hobbit. I'm in the Shire. Am I the Hobbit? Am I the. Hey, quit walking your big feet on everything, man. We're the giants. Don't mess with us. You little freaking hobbit. Okay. 21. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Amen. Amen. You will have Jesus comes for you, and his Savior, Christ, whoever's Christ in the dome. He don't come just for. He comes. Don't worry. He knows you got a lot of Slurpees spilled on you here at Disney World during your tour of duty. Okay, but you haven't earned your heart yet, so that's helping you earn your heart. Amen. And he will come and check on you and tell you, maybe give you some improvement ideas. So the last word is amen. So this is really telling them this is the script. Don't ever change it. Don't ever think of changing it. Don't ever, if you ever think of changing the script and ever speak a word, all the plagues are your ass. And we watch everything. So you're not gonna do something. In other words, if you don't take an order properly, right? You fall and you go in the game. And they're like, oh, yes, sir. And then sometimes they're like, get me out of here. Fine, I won't take an order. They're that little tiny boop, one cell of a heart grew. And that's where the temple starts. Okay. The and Finn. Let's see if I skipped anything here. Okay, that's Revelation. So we'll get into some next week. Right, God's shadow. the character starts with Lucifer, then he knows, the concept of freedom by being in a cage infinitely. Let's talk about that. JB, so good. Like, okay, I'll watch all these 7 times. Man, woman, it's a description of our situation. What we got to bear to get out of here, and what they have to do is description of the whole thing. George, uh, red text of the words of Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. I think it's the elves are great mind readers. Eventually, that I was thinking of maybe getting into what Jesus said, but you want to go into the shadow thing for a second. Alan, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yes, the sign of the cross. You take it up knowing that to be 64 years and God's coming. They all know. They all know. Who's hung out with me long enough to be like, ask me all the questions? Come on. After a while, it's like, let me remove the veil. Hang out a minute. Hang out a minute. I'll say, hey, Gypsy, come on down to the comments. You'll see. He's like, very sweet guy. Anyway, yes, God bless you all. Thank you for the support. I'm over, thanks for the people over there on Liberty Academy too, getting in the mentor thing. Obviously, we're doing a money box, plus a K. Where's my K's up in here? Where's my thousands? Where's my K's? My money. Where's my monkey? Make my money pox a monkey pox. But you should get over there. Put up some more stuff ahead of time and stuff. All right, everyone. Thank you and God bless you all. Thanks for the support. I know it's hard out there, but we did it. I'm going to get into 1 hour each time. I go back on a schedule. This just needed to be done to, set the wheels in motion. I gotta play my role. All right. God bless you one and all, and I will see you next week. Okay. All right, everyone. Way to hang in there to the end. It ain't easy. You got this. Okay. Keep up the great work. Thanks for all that great stuff, everyone. Today, Alan, man, you got a sharp knife there. That mind. Keep it up. All right. God bless you all you. All you in here are like the smartest people under the dope. You're hanging out in that group. You, not you all, us all, right? Coming to the truth. I'll see you next week, Sunday at noon. All right, and that mentor thing is live tomorrow at noon. I'll see you then too. Okay.